backwards for the rest of the show.
Welcome to This Week in Guns, a podcast that covers the commentary on the latest firearms industry news, information, and buzz. Brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network. I'm your host, Chick Challen from Gun Guy Radio, and you make the show possible. That's right, you simply click through our Amazon affiliate link the next time you're shopping online, and a small portion of your sale goes to supporting pro-gun shows like This Week in Guns. Well, we have a lively panel this week, back by popular demand off his suspension. Peter Palma, inventor of MS Clean Kits. Hey, Peter.
Hey, what's going on?
And Josh Cast, Four Guys Guns. Hey, Josh.
Pleasure to be here, Jake. Thanks for having me.
And Ebbs, House of Guns, House of Arms. Hey, Ebbs.
Hey, House of Guns, House of Arms.
And Nick, Practically Tactical. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Jake. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. So we have an announcement here. Bullpup Shoot 2015 is going on here in Mount Carroll, Illinois on September 19th. Firearms Radio Network will be there with a booth, and several of the personalities will be there. So hope to see you out there September 19th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Mount Carroll, Illinois, at bullpupshoot.com for more info. Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. Check out patriotpatch.co to pre-order your Huckleberry patch or the Firearms Radio Network t-shirt pre-orders going on there as well. patriotpatch.co. Lots of stories this week. Let's get right into top stories. WDBJ shooter filmed his attack, posted it to Facebook and Twitter. I'm sure many of you listening have seen this on Facebook or other news outlets. It's been all over the news where this former TV anchor murdered two of his former co-workers and filmed it. And, usual reactions. The White House reacts to call for more gun control. Hillary Clinton's campaign reacts for calling for more gun control. One of the victims' fathers, I think I saw, is also saying that he will not rest until he sees stricter gun laws enacted. However, it's been confirmed that the gunman bought his gun completely legally, passed a background check.
So, quick commentary. The father actually, when they interviewed him, his quick little comment, he specifically stated people with mental illnesses. So, it wasn't like this big, we already know what the White House is thinking, we already know what Hillary's thinking, we already know what all the usual suspects like moms demand attention are thinking. But this father, even though his little girl just went and got murked by this freaking whack job, he was still very precise in his words, and he said people with mental disabilities or mentally unstable people should not have access to firearms. So it wasn't a very blanket statement. It was very specific, and I found that very interesting.
This when I watched this video, somebody showed it to me at work, and I almost didn't think it was real because of like how creepy it is. It almost seems like the Blair Witch. When they drop the camera and you see like the fleeting glimpse of the killer and the footsteps or whatever. It was pretty rough. If you haven't watched the video, and you don't want to be creeped out, I wouldn't watch it because it's pretty rough. It's pretty intense.
Well, and you almost couldn't avoid it when it happened. I mean, it was multiple places on my Facebook feed that morning, and I had to turn all my screens off for a while because I just couldn't avoid it. And you're right, it is rough.
It reminded me. Go
ahead, Peter.
It reminded me of the time like when I was 7 and I watched our Bud Dwyer blow his brains out on TV. And like I'm like, Mom, what was that? And they like ran over to try and turn it off, but they just were like, it was it. You know what I mean? It had happened, and it was live, and it was over, and you could tell the look on Anchor's face afterwards that it had, it was too late at that point. It's pretty rough to see when you're not out of the blue like that.
No, I think, Jake, you had it there, man. It was everywhere, which was kind of sad to see because that's obviously what the guy wanted. I mean, many issues, but and his little manifesto that he wrote, was race war, and he wants to retaliate for, the South Carolina church shooting. Man, it's really, really sad. And then, of course, literally people are jumping on the graves of these people before they're even in the ground and politicizing it. And it's just one of these. It's a terrible situation. It's incredibly sad. It's out there everywhere, and they're jumping on it before any. I mean, a lot of people had found out that a lot of these people had their friends found out through the actual video, then being told. And I think that's one of the real sad parts about it.
Yeah, I never even think about that. That must be rough. It's like, if your friend or family member is going to be on television, on an interview or whatever, you could be watching that and all of a sudden see that. Must be pretty terrifying. It's a pretty rough video to watch.
Yeah, the lady's reporter, her fiance, I think, works at the station, watched it from the control room at the station live.
It's rough.
So, like we said, usual suspects are calling for more gun control, but not everyone is. Trump has been speaking on it several times, and he's saying mental illness, not guns, are to blame.
I don't think any of us are going to disagree with that.
My curiosity is, how do you combat that? I mean, we're all a bunch of gun owners in the room, right? We all know, and we've all probably seen that guy in the shop that we're just like, ooh, he's a bit, maybe not today. But without, encroaching on Fourth Amendment and whatnot, how do you, aside from just good judgment and a crystal ball, how do you stop that?
You prepare people to stop the inevitable. Take responsibility for yourself. So we're asking, we're telling, so mental health is a problem. Yes, there's no question about it. Will we ever solve that? Probably not. But personal responsibility is also something that is extremely lacking, both with people taking responsibility for their actions. This guy didn't even wait around for repercussions. He just blew his brains out, okay? And then there's also responsibility that we have to take for our own safety. In the video itself, and I hate to drive more people to watch it, the dude is there for a while. Like, you watch it, he draws, and he's got his pistol there drawn on them. There are 3 people standing there, and they're clueless that he's even there or that he's a threat. Now, in defense of these people who were no doubt professionals, and I cannot pass any kind of judgment in terms of what kind of awareness they had to their situation, they had most definitely learned to tune out the general public and people trying to step in front of the camera and saying obscene things and stuff like that. But the dude was there and present and had time to prepare what he had already prepared. And so there's this constant denial that anything evil could ever happen to us individually. Like, isn't this one of those type of things that's so far out in left field you would not picture ever happening to you, or and God forbid that it would in whatever situation each of us is in. Even if you do carry, I carry because I want to be prepared, but what's the likelihood that I would ever have to use that or be confronted with a situation that would require me to return with a response of force like that? I'm not saying these people are to blame. I'm just saying we have just as much of a personal responsibility issue as we do a mental health issue. We can, and I only saw this man's social background and the things that he talked about himself through his manifesto. I haven't been clinging to the news, waiting to hear more about this clown and what he did in his life, because that's what the news is feeding. The news is feeding us. Why would he do this? What's happened? What went so wrong? What could drive him to do this? Well, he didn't respect human life, and including his own.
I think more the point that I was getting at, and you're absolutely right, of course, on all fronts. But I mean, like, for instance, a good majority, if not all of us here, have children. So you can only get away with because I said so, and you can only get away with, no without a reason behind when you tell your son or daughter why they can't do something. So if you compare that to the number one argument that we're always, as gun owners, we're saying, don't blame the tool, blame the person. That makes sense. That's a sound argument. The gun's sitting right here on my desk, won't do a damn thing unless I do something with it. But if we're always going to say, let's work on mental illness, we need, as a gun community, proactive ideas, in my opinion, to help not just combat but overcome that issue, because it's a twofold thing. One, it's going to help gun control, because this looks bad for all of us, crazy or not crazy. So there's that, and then there's everyone wants to now worry about mental health, and that's a foot in the door for one more breach of one more right, of one more amendment. And it's, what if we can, as a gun community, have a solution that makes everyone happy? Then it came from us. We're not just saying, nope, that's the issue. We're saying, here's the issue. Here's how we fix it for in-house, checks and balances.
What was that technology they used on Minority Report? I think that would be good.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there is no perfect answer for this, and it's much deeper than just mental illness. The last story in this section about this incident is from The Blaze, and it's titled, "Our problem isn't guns or mental illness, it's godlessness." And I just want to read the first paragraph on this, and then anyone who wants to comment can. "We never want to talk about evil in this country, do we? We rarely even say the word. We're so shallow and distracted in our thinking. Everything has to be politically or psychologically easily solved with policies or laws or pharmaceuticals. But all the drugs and legislation in the world won't change the fact that humans are sinful and angry, and sometimes they do evil things on purpose and not for any other reason other than their own sick lust for vengeance, power, and pleasure."
You could also add recognition and fame to that list at the end. But Jake, I'm gonna read the second paragraph, because okay. I think that is worth adding to the conversation that you just started. That's what I saw and this is the writer's name for The Blaze is Matt Walsh. He's been a Christian blogger type guy for a really long time, and was fairly widely read before he started writing for The Blaze too. But he said, "That's what I saw when the video of the WEJ shooting appeared on my news feed yesterday morning. I didn't see the result of, quote, mental illness or the side effects of bad policies or lax regulation or weak, quote, gun control or anything else. I saw envy and malice. I saw a man who calculated and planned his sin, then carried it out deliberately. I saw a choice. I saw evil."
Yeah, it was pretty evil. It was pretty rough.
I think that article hits just hammer on the nail. I mean, the guy was premeditated, obviously. He was sick enough to record it. I mean, there's what could we have done to stop this? Honestly, if you look at it, what could have been done preemptive, whether they say laws or whatever it is, there's really nothing you can do to stop this. Evil is evil. And I think that was a fantastic article. I'd highly recommend people going and reading it. Yeah. There are bad people no matter what. Always.
And we can't always stop every bad thing from happening, but like we were talking before, we can be better prepared. We can be prepared to, if we see something like this goes down, if we're a witness, if we're there, if someone, like us is there, I mean, maybe we could play a part in stopping something like this than just being a witness for the police report.
Like the next article.
What's the next one?
The next one is the train in France. Look at that segue I made, and then you were just like, "What?"
As we're all highlighting Walmart.
Well,
I'll put one.
I don't have it up because I read them all actually, so now I don't have to look at the list.
You memorized every story. Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
I'm sorry I messed up the order.
Okay, yeah. Let's
Isn't
go
it interesting?
France.
Before, and I want to go to the France thing, but while we're still on
No,
this,
that is the next one. Unless you
I
moved it
think-
around.
I moved it.
So
What?
what about?
Stop moving it. You do that every week.
Shut up!
Paul? Sorry to everybody listening.
Peter and technology.
I'm thinking about what he's saying, and drawing a line, specifically stating good and evil, and the fact that there's a denial, or there's a sense of denial. One, that anything evil could happen, or that there is any evil that is present that could happen just like this. And this was professionally prepared, and the author goes on to talk about how this is a 21st century murder in its finest, where he's giving people the ability to follow along before, and all it has to do is get shared. Once one person realizes it gets shared, and it pings over here and over here and over here, and it doesn't even have to pop up on the news before it's completely viral, and now we're all enthralled in watching a murder unfold. And we've learned this guy's name, we've learned where he works, but if you were to hear the names, and this is what we're addicted to. We want to pretend like it's not an issue, but we're addicted to that and this information, and most of us couldn't even say that we knew who Allison Parker and Adam Ward were, right? The two people that got sucker punched with a pistol when they were unaware. And they've gone, as a sub-story to political agenda, which we could almost set our clocks by when that was going to happen, right? We knew it was going to happen. I think America collectively, with a select few, are probably even rolling their eyes when it happens and hearing the comments. But we're not hearing about Allison Parker, and we're not hearing about Adam Ward, and how they were murdered heartlessly, and not for any justifiable reason other than they were the easiest target for this character.
I do want to jump in here real quick, kind of going off of what you talked about earlier, Ebbs, of now that we saw the effect of this guy's acts and how he did it, don't you think there's going to be a copycat?
And what kind of attention he's received?
Isn't he a copycat? I mean, kind of already.
I don't know, but I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I stopped going on Facebook. I made a post about like, hey, I'm off Facebook today. It's every post was this, and that's what I wasn't a big fan of. I said I'm not sharing it. I'm not gonna put it up on my page because number one, that's what the guy wanted, but the attention that this got of people spreading this everywhere, pro-gun, anti-gun, it's irregardless of politics. But don't you think with the amount of publicity this guy got over what he did, that is just going to encourage somebody else?
Well, funny story. There was a associated story on the Blaze of the same day Zuckerberg went up and said that this is a monumental day for Facebook because they had 1 billion users on at the same time.
Wow.
No opportunity wasted, I suppose.
Do you think he knew, right, when he said that?
I'm sure he knows exactly where everyone's going and what they're doing. Is he going to share that? No, it's going to be, here's how great it is, and it's an advertising, boost for him.
Well, and is he just saying Facebook is instant news? It is now.
Well, and that's where they want to go.
Right.
But that's a different topic for another time.
We've cornered the video market. We've cornered the email market, and we've cornered the news market. But that was necessary to announce in light of probably why they had that many viewers online at one time.
Well, 2 years ago, at least in my mass communications class of social media, I think it was somewhere around 40% of people get their news through Facebook. I mean, that's kind of scary. But that was 2 years ago.
It's probably way more now.
Oh yeah.
Screw reading. Whatever the picture in the meme says, it happened.
Well, at least you maybe misinformed instead of just like blatantly lied to. I mean, if you get it anywhere else, I mean.
The problem with that is anybody can put up something and it gets shared. That's the problem.
That's the double-edged sword of a lot of crap.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had other breaking news earlier in the week. Gunman opens fire on high-speed train in France, and initial reports said 2 U.S. Marines subdued the gunman on the train. I think it turned out just one of them was a Marine.
One was a guardsman, I believe, as well.
An airman and a guardsman and a student, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and an American professor was shot. Apparently, he jumped on the guy before they got to them. And then apparently the AK jammed after that.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger news. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
No,
That's what you
no,
get.
it's the Americans stepping up in France again.
Yeah, I was going to make that.
That was my favorite. I texted Monkey instantly. I'm like, look at the news. We're kicking ass in France again.
Oh, it's good. Hasn't happened in this generation until now. So
They must be like, oh man. Deep down inside, a lot of French people are like, oh, geez, now we have to listen to the Americans as released another.
oh, please, not again.
I love my favorite thing out of this was Duffelblog's article. Did you guys see what Duffelblog posted about it?
Yes.
No.
Pentagon angered at speed of French military award system.
Did they? Because they got the highest award available of like the highest honor award that France gives, right?
Yeah, within like 3 days.
Which was awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, here's the real thing: is France ever going to learn from any of this? Obviously, it's. I mean, what are the chances this would happen twice in 3 months or 4 months or whatever? Yeah, it seems like it's pretty high.
Well, how long ago did Je suis Charlie happen?
3-4 months ago, something
Is
like
that all it was? I thought it was last fall.
I don't know. I go by school years in my house, so.
Because you have 17 children.
Yes.
Mr. Tax Exempt himself.
Oh, it's low.
All right, so should we move on to Walmart? Stop selling modern sporting rifles, some semi-automatic shotguns. They also say that Walmart is shifting their sales to hunting rifles and shotguns away from ARs. Now, I saw this coming because earlier in the week, I think it was last week and early this week, on the AR-15 group on Facebook, all these people were posting pictures of these deals they were getting at Walmart. They were posting pictures of their receipts and stuff. They were buying ARs for half off. They were even getting deals on ammo and stuff, and even scopes, everything else. And then you started seeing more things like, I'm in and out of a few Walmarts for my business, and I started noticing that I think it's more everything that's scary and black they're getting rid of, because like the Bear Grylls knives, any of the big hunting survival knives are blowing out. Anything black and scary, I think.
I'd agree. I've seen people post up they're picking up, U-boats, X300Us for like $150. Literally, yeah. If it can attach to a quote-unquote black rifle, it's pretty much on sale.
That's weird because they had like stock sets the last time I went through Walmart. It was like, there was AR-15 stock sets in there. I forget like what manufacturer, but
Was it like Mission First Tactical? That's what ours had.
It was something like that. It wasn't Magpul, but it was something close. That one point in time, you were like, oh yeah, that's better than the mil-spec one, but I'm not sure what it was. Something like that. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy, but maybe. And on the article it says it's only for financial purposes, and normally I would call BS, but it's like you could get like a Palmetto State Armory for like whatever cheaper than the crappy Bushmaster one. You know what I mean? At Walmart. So maybe they were just like every other AR manufacturer, just kind of like struggling for that piece of the pie.
And now you can get $10 Blackhawk holsters. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All the nylon.
You really think it was a marketing or based on sales?
I mean, it could be. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't buy a AR at Walmart, but who knows?
Well,
No, I don't think so. I also wouldn't go to a football game.
I think Peter hit it right there. Of how many? I mean, honestly, how many people do you know that actually bought an AR from Walmart?
Sandy Hook, bro.
Okay, well, yes.
Rushed to Walmart. It was the first place everyone was going, man, I've always been thinking about buying an AR-15. Where's the closest place that has one? Oh, I think Walmart's got them. Let's go. And
so, other than that.
So, a couple points here on Walmart. The first point, since I'm in the Chicagoland, metropolitan area, I'm about an hour away from Chicago, but I still considered that. All the Walmarts in this area have never carried evil black rifles. And I wonder if that's true with other big metropolitan areas. Another thing is that, Walmart is very savvy and they're very intentional in what they carry and what they sell. And for example, for my Amazon business, I've been buying some closeout digital cameras, camcorders, and stuff to flip and resell. And Walmart has been blowing those out since Christmas, and they're getting pretty much out of selling any kind of digital camcorder at their stores because, quote unquote, they've told me because people don't buy that kind of stuff here; they buy it online. So, it may be true that like Peter's saying, he doesn't know anyone that ever bought an AR at Walmart or whatnot, and so that could be, that's not the first place you would think to go to buy an AR.
Well, something else too is, and I think a lot of people in the quote unquote tactical community forget, the hunting, the market share for hunting is far greater than the type of stuff that we're into. So is it dumb on Walmart's? Just in the article I mentioned, they're focusing on just hunting. Is it wrong of them just to focus on that? I don't think so. I think it can be a smart move, especially depending on whatever area you're in. The hunting market is far larger than the quote unquote tactical community. I think a lot of people forget that too.
Yeah, and we don't have to constantly be on guard to vilify a company that decides to stop carrying a certain type of thing that in this situation isn't in light of some ridiculous tragedy that caused a knee-jerk reaction, right? They're just, this is happening, and oh, by the way, we wanted you to know.
Right, and I should also say that several thousand Walmarts quit carrying guns altogether probably about 10 years ago, and they brought those guns back, I think it was a year and a half ago, to many of those stores. My store and several local stores were those stores that quit carrying guns completely and then brought them back. So it's not like, they're getting rid of all guns. So it may seem more like they're strategically paring down some offerings and ramping up other offerings that make financial sense to them. But at the same time, Walmart is a big corporation, and I could see people on the board being, oh, all this gun stuff making me nervous. Let's
clearly
get rid of the black and scary stuff.
I mean, it's Walmart. Like, their only focus is the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the quintessential company of that. So, if they could make money off of selling, like, people's toenails or whatever, they're gonna do it. But
that's the first thing you think of. Like, you're such a serial killer in training or something.
No, that's the edited thing. That's the first thing I thought of. I was actually like, no, this. So that was edited. All
that's
right.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
I'll tell you after show. The first thing that came to my brain was.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that on air.
Thank you.
ATF may soon reclassify some machine guns as post samples and non-transferable.
Yeah, but they're HKs, and who really cares anyway?
And they're the ATF, and nobody cares anyway.
Yeah.
And they're not an agency.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing here is that, all the gun crimes going on with these full auto transferables. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm glad they're clamping
We
down on them.
Should we explain the article in brevity just so that people listening on the radio or whatever know what we're talking about?
Yeah, let's go for it, Peter.
All right, whatever. In 1971, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by in 1986, there was a law pretty much you couldn't make any new machine guns, and so there was a panic like there always is, and they were cranking them out as fast as they could, and apparently this happened on the 20th was the last day. Well, some people made it on the 19th, a bunch of these Sears that you could drop in like an HK, but they didn't get the paperwork in by the 20th, and apparently it was too late, and nobody cared about it for 29 years, and now all of a sudden they're taking them away, and obviously a transferable HK is already stupid expensive for no reason.
Well,
and so now you have this, which people could have purchased for an investment, and so now they're felons if they don't turn in, and they lose their investment totally.
Well, I mean, it's common practice to where when a manufacturer can make something, but then they have 48 hours to notify. So the issue here is so these Sears or whatever part was manufactured on the 19th. However, manufacturers didn't send in the licenses till technically the 20th. Technically, by law, they have the 20th, or I should say, by practice, not by law, the 20th to the 21st. So they sent those in on those dates, but it was manufactured before then. That's where this is really getting to the gray area. I mean, and at the end of the day, who really gets screwed here? The law-abiding gun owners who thought everything was legal, followed all the laws. It's 30 years later, and now some people might be worried about having to get a letter or having the ATF show up to either confiscate or possibly arrest people.
Right. Who's the guy in the NFA branch or the tech branch or whatever has so much free time that's going, you know what I think is a real problem?
Oh yeah, this is such a bureaucratic douchebag move.
Right. That's all it is. And it's not even underlined. It's blatant disregard for something that's been in effect for 30 years next year.
I've never seen anybody in the government work so hard in my entire life. If you ever see anybody with a government job, it's just who is this anomaly out there being we really care about this? And normally it's hey, I need something like a license or so I can drive my car. Yeah, just stand in this line forever. I'm okay, what about anything else? But now this is priority, and I don't understand. I just didn't think a lot of times I just depend on the ineptitude of our government. So when I break laws, they'll just never catch me because they're just that inept. So I just go about and do whatever I want anyway. But so now it's these people actually follow the law. This is why I could get away with breaking the law pretty much every single day. It's because they're worried about this stuff. You know what I mean? It's have at it.
Colt to bankruptcy court. Please guarantee executives their bonuses and terminate employees' salaries.
Yeah, well, yay that Colt's going out of business. But
this is BS. This is BS. I mean, we spent so many Ask Chaos. We spent so many episodes saying that the mighty need to fall, et cetera, before people start paying attention. The new guard, yada yada yada. And then about a month ago, we said, you know what? It's a bad thing if Colt goes under, because that's one less major entity that helps fight the battle, a big industry. And then this happens. 9 executives need at least 1 year's salary totaling $2.53 million and shaft over the workers. The same people who made the horrible decisions that drove the company into the ground now want to make sure that the people are not taken care of, and they are.
It's like the buyout all over again.
Yeah, F Colt. At this point, F Colt. I don't care who is watching, who takes anything I take seriously on Four Guys Guns, seriously, forget it. F Colt. Don't care. Burn.
I think this clearly draws of exactly why Colt became terrible. Why they're terrible. I mean, this sums it up. If you're curious, like, wow, I can never understand how Colt went out of business, I think this gives you your answer.
Yeah, it's like the thing that happens to everything. You have something really kind of cool, it becomes like, some corporation gets involved, and then there's chair members, and they get old, and they're like, rah! And then they rest on their laurels, and they only care about the bottom line, and ultimately other people come up and are hungry, and this happens. And they all say to themselves, I mean, they're like, shoving $100 bills up their butt just because they're bored now, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, everybody else is fighting for, the little bit of money that's left over.
I think what drives me nuts the most is that by them going out of the business, you, me, most of the people that watch and listen, maybe people that follow business, all that, they understand. They understand exactly why Colt is going bye-bye. But then the entire opposite side, the anti-gun crowd, is going to go ahead and make it 10 times worse by saying, oh, like, we're winning, or, because they're evil, blah, blah, blah. Like a million different ways this could be construed to fit into agenda. And it just, screw Colt. It never looks like him.
I mean, how hard is it to sell a 1911 now? Is it really getting that hard to sell 1911? I mean, there are companies coming out with double-barrel 1911s and apparently selling the crap out of them. And Colt can figure out how to make a 1911?
Kimber's like, check it out. We made this grip silver.
We smoothed out
I have to have it. Yeah. No, look, I took a milling machine to the front of my slide. Buy it. You're like, oh yeah, like it's like.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
Peter, how many 1911s do you have?
No, I don't have any. I mean, why would you? Yeah.
I know.
Breaking.
Whatever. Yeah, we're not going to get on that, but.
Second Amendment Foundation, NSSF, NRA team up to file a lawsuit against Seattle for their firearms tax. Because now cities of Seattle recently enacted a tax on all firearms and ammunition.
They'll win that, but will it be too late is the question.
No, they won it, didn't they?
Oh, they already won it?
No, they just filed the lawsuit.
They won something before, though.
I read all this already. I memorized it.
Yeah,
they won something, did they not?
Yeah, Seattle had banned carrying guns in public parks.
Yeah,
and that was voted unconstitutional. I mean, the big thing here is, how is it that you can put a sales tax on a right? Can we put sales taxes on free speech? Can we put sales taxes on voting? Why can't we put taxes on this stuff? If you can put it on the Second Amendment, why can't we turn around and just put it? Let's just put it on everything. Let's make a $5 voting tax.
I mean, I need food, and they tax that.
Talkie tax. Yeah, you can grow your own food. You can go rummage through the woods.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I can make my own guns.
You can hunt with the guns you make.
Yes. You can hunt with guns you make.
I'm going to break out the soundboard in a second, Jake. What's going on here?
What's that?
I'm going to break out the soundboard in a second. What's going on here?
Illinois concealed carrier comes through again and again. I got two stories here about people successfully defending themselves and others in the state of Illinois. A 24-year-old man illegally concealed carrying a firearm was walking down the street with a woman when two suspects approached them with a handgun and announced that they were being robbed. As a response, a 24-year-old drew his firearm, as did one of the thugs. Both men fired. Permit holder was shot in the leg, while the suspect was shot in the chest. Both were taken to the same hospital, and permit holder is in stable condition. The suspect, however, is in critical condition. And then the next story here is about a store clerk owner in, I think, Wakanda, Illinois. A quick stop shop just after 9 p.m. A person armed with a handgun came in, aimed at the customer and a clerk. The customer was able to run out of the store and call 911 while the suspect was focused on demanding cash from the clerk. One of the employees grabbed the .40 caliber handgun, the store gun, It was, I guess, a gun they kept there at the store for any employee to use in just such a situation. So that was
I wish they
pretty
had
cool.
one of those in my work. It's like, oh yeah.
I know. Doesn't every place of employment need a work gun?
Yeah, the work gun.
Grab the store gun. Nobody'll think. Nobody'll expect it at all.
Right. It's like the saloons with a shotgun under the bar, right?
You know, I have to say, Jake, you especially, Illinois is so proud of their new concealed carry.
They're shooting
laws.
everybody.
And how, yeah, I mean, they're like, Illinois is the new Wild West. And you guys are like, oh, somebody looked at me wrong? I got a gun, okay? And I got it legal, okay? The state says I can have this. And I don't know why they have that kind of accent, but if I was carrying concealed in Illinois, that is the type of accent that I would use if I had a store gun or an appendix carry to shoot myself with a femoral artery type thing.
They probably had an Arab accent since the dude had an Arabic name. You'd have to be crazy to try and rub some dude at a thing at anything named Quick Stop. You're going to get shot. You try to rob a Quick Stop, and what are you going to get? Well, I mean, let's just think. What did they make? They say the average customer spent. Let's say they spent $20. And they had 100 customers that day, which is crazy. Like, most people are going to spend $20 at a Quick Stop, right? That's $2,000. You're going to, like...
Wait, what?
Shot at for $2,000?
$20 to $2,000 in the
100
drawer?
customers. Let's just say, given a benefit of the doubt, 100 people walk through $20, which, like, that's the most you could get is
Not in
20?
cash. You can't like.
I'm just saying the
hold up
most
a
you could
clerk.
possibly get more than $2,000.
Give me all your card information and don't go for the store gun.
Yeah. I'm saying you're gonna like risk getting shot for $2,000. Working is not that hard. I'm telling you. You could come to Louisiana and be a flagger and get paid $18 an hour. Just wave a flag. You don't even have to read. Why are you robbing? It's retarded.
Minnesota carry permits top 200,000. Now, I think Minnesota has had their license a couple of years longer than Illinois since 2003. So it's been quite some time, actually. So as of August 1st, nearly 201,000 Minnesotans. So that means about 1 in every 20 eligible adults have carry permits now in Minnesota.
It's pretty hardcore too. That much already.
So let me hear your Minnesota accent.
Don't you know? We're carrying our guns in Minnesota. Is that close? Do you have people that listen from Minnesota?
Yeah. Okay. Who's got the effects going? Knock it off. We're in the serious part of the show. Wait for the full auto news segment at least. Savage issues a recall on the 17 WSM-B mag rifles. So if you own a Savage 17 WSM, you may want to look into that. So
it's cool that they issued like nobody was injured or anything yet. So it's not like it was a preemptive. There's a safety on the back. That's what I thought was cool about it. Is generally they wait, for something to happen, or a bunch of people to complain about it.
That, or they're trying to find a way to get it back in the news because it's a terrible gun.
Yeah,
so,
I mean.
And I know that because I have one around the corner in the safe that I couldn't hold the group at 100 yards with premium ammunition with. So. Sorry. I'm still bitter, man.
You're bitter. Okay, so we have a huge political and extra stories section here, which will be...
I didn't do that.
Paul, you're such...
That was not me.
At thisweekinguns.com/131. This is what we get for having Peter Palma on the show again.
I didn't do that.
All right. Well, you can now contribute to the show by shopping our Amazon affiliate link. You can bookmark firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, or you can go to thisweekinguns.com, look for that Amazon banner. Now, I have a recommended product here. It's an app. Now, every so often, Amazon sends me emails saying
Tinder?
that, Tinder? No. Every so often, Amazon sends me emails about things that are frequently bought, items that are frequently bought with our affiliate link. And this this showed up on it. It's a fake name generator app for your smartphone or tablet. So apparently many of you are generating fake names for one reason or the other.
That you download that right after you download Tinder.
Oh, so good.
We are to the full auto news segment, stories the real media won't talk about, and other crazy stuff. This is where each of the hosts picks a story to call their own. Peter, I'll let you head this off because I think I know which one you're going to go for.
Really? Boston police, 2 men held on.
Not the Nazis and the gold?
Oh,
Really?
yeah, that one was so cool.
All right. I mean, I thought that was yours.
Yeah, that one was cool too. But I mean, fine. So, 2 guys in Poland, right? And it's kind of crazy. I mean, it was such a global war, and you just think of it as like forever ago, and it was a long time ago. But they 2 guys who seek out this kind of stuff, and they wanted to remain unnamed for the most part. They found a train that was like filled with gold and guns and everything. They found it. And so they came to the authorities saying, "Hey, listen, we found this train. We know where it is. It's in like this cave, and we want 10% finder's fee to tell you where it is." And and they're working out with their lawyer, but the government's like, "Well, maybe it's not safe. Maybe there's methane, or maybe the ordnance are going to blow up, or whatever." It's like, okay, it's been in there for like 70 years now. I think, it's probably relatively safe right now, undisturbed. But that would be so cool to see. You're muted. You're talking to the microphone, and nothing's happening.
You know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of the Goonies when they find the ship filled with gold.
Yeah, but like a more evil version of that, because
right, a Nazi.
Yeah.
What's that pirate's name?
One-Eye Willie.
Somebody had to say it out loud. It's never not funny.
Chester Copperpot. That's the best movie.
It is a good.
What is happening right now?
I'll go next, Jake, if you want.
Well, back to the Nazi gold train. So what if the government? What if the government of Poland never, agrees to give them a portion of it? Are they going to just kind of keep tabs on these guys because these guys are going to want to go back and check it out or
they're
take
gonna.
something.
You just said the key word. It's Poland.
They said there could be 300. What is it? Something of. It's a lot of gold. Like so much gold. It's crazy. Like that's a lot of gold. And I was just trying to think of what that would do to the market to just liquidate all that gold onto it, or how that would even work. Would Israel take it? Like I don't know how. I tried to do the math on it real quick, but then we had to start. But you guys talk about something, I'll do the math.
Okay,
it's an insane amount.
It's going to be so wrong, but I'll give him the time.
There's a physics with the A. I think I could add.
There's a story on USACarry.com about a guy in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, hat tip to Nick here, who died trying to reholster his pistol, and sadly, as this man, Timothy Fonace, lost his life, Larry Vickers would probably applaud the fact that he would admit being correct over the situation. He was carrying a pistol in an appendix carry holster, and while reholstering, he shot himself with a negligent discharge, and he hit his femoral artery and bled out pretty fast. Sad that type of accident happened, but they would lead you to believe by the title that this is something that happens commonly, and it's not. And it also doesn't say what kind of holster he had. I feel like that should be an important addition. Now, this is
It
from
did say he was posing, so
this-
I mean that's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
the story's from usacarry.com, so it's pretty heavy on opinion and not great on facts, but yeah, so it doesn't say specifically.
It would be rather ironic if it was a Blackhawk holster you got on sale from Walmart.
Based on tonight's show, it would be ironic, no less tragic, but ironic. But I do want to say, in defense of appendix carry, you need to be safe reholstering a gun regardless of where it is around your waistband. And you know, it seems like most people, their beef with appendix carry is fear of shooting their wiener off, quote unquote, more so than it is hitting the femoral artery.
yeah.
And I do see a lot of Instagram instructors and YouTube instructors that are pretty speedy with the reholster on appendix carry, and I'm like, you might want to slow down a little bit there, bro. Not like they would post a video if they did shoot themselves, but
Right. There's never ever a race to reholster.
no, there's not a race to reholster. And that said, it's not, depending on what position you're in, you want to be careful reholstering your gun, regardless of where it is. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4:30. For a long time, people got bent out of shape about small to back carry because they're like, well, you could fall, and if you landed correctly, that mass of gun that's by your tailbone could like rupture into your spinal column and create paralysis and all of these things. So, number one, be careful reholstering no matter where the gun is. Take your time. And two, carry a decent holster. So if this was a Blackhawk holster on sale at Walmart because of their tactical liquidation, get something secure. The end.
Yes. Jay, can I jump in on the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm going to go to a truthaboutguns.com article of less lethal rounds do the job eventually sometimes. Now, I'm actually not only going to see the solution here, but I'm going to the problem, but I'm also going to propose a solution because I have some firsthand knowledge of this as of recently. But there is a case in Lubbock, Texas, where at a Walmart, no less, great sales, there was a gentleman out in the outside. Apparently, some Walmarts have a grassy tree area. I've never seen one that does. He's wielding a knife in one hand and a bat in another, and is not responding to any police officer commands. There's a video of it where they use the beanbag-loaded shotguns from the trunk of a police car that they carry, and they shot him multiple times. And a lot of people kept saying, eventually they got it to work, but actually if you watch the video, there's another gentleman that comes from the side that tasers him, and he drops. And I recently took a class on this, but I just want to recommend for everybody out there that hasn't maybe looked into a solution called the JPX. It's a pepper spray device that has about a range of 23 feet that shoots out pepper spray about 405 miles per hour. It's extremely effective. But I think it's one of those things that people definitely need to look into a lot of. They talk about, less than lethal or non-lethal type of stuff, and this is an exact thing why. Had this person charged police officers or charged another individual that was using some sort of less than lethal, it wouldn't have stopped him. And this guy could have unfortunately done some very bad things to people. And I think the video that was great for a real learning experience of, don't count on these less than lethal things to necessarily work, especially when you look at rubber pellets or bean bags or whatever it might be. They're not always effective.
What is the functional equivalent of 405 miles per hour, 2 feet per second? Like for gun people that are like, okay, well, a 9mm round travels on average at 1,050 feet a second, give or take.
Well, that'd be like a paintball round, right? Traveling at 4 something.
I thought they were like 2 something.
Oh, maybe.
Let's see
Airsoft?
here.
I don't know.
Let's take a look. 405 miles per hour. Let's see here. That is approximately about.
It's 181 meters a second.
It's about 700 feet per second, something like that.
Nice.
Which will snap your head back.
Yeah, that would That would suck.
Yeah, like the speed of sound is about 1,000 feet per second is about subsonic, and then that's about what 600, 700 miles an hour depending on altitude.
All right. Do we have the treasure train?
Here it is.
map
So
here?
they said that there is 300 tons of gold. All right. Times 2,000, that's 600,000 pounds of gold. There's 12 troy ounces in each pound. That's 7,200,000 troy ounces of gold. I just checked kit code. Troy ounce of gold is $1,150. That's 8 billion. 1,200. That's thousands. It's millions. Yeah, $8,280,000,000. $8.2 billion.
Euros or dollars? Because this is a Poland.
This is the. See what number is that there at the bottom?
No, they use the Arabic number system in euros too, bro.
It doesn't matter. I'm talking American U.S. dollars. That's what that is.
They don't use that in Poland.
Well, they could. It's irrelevant. The equivalent to this much. See that? What is that number right there?
It's with a B.
And we do have a request that someone does the truffle shuffle from a listener here on YouTube.
Almost
Not it.
in love with it.
Yeah.
No.
All right, who hasn't gone yet? Josh, what do you have?
I'm working on this P issue. So apparently, I think the first thing I always think of when you think of like the space station and supplies, I mean, everyone, I hope, goes for like, oh, oxygen, breathing. But it's the other fun stuff that you don't think about, like water. That's kind of a big deal. Apparently, there's a bunch of very complex systems that involve recycling pee, shower runoff, pee from animals, stuff like that, even the condensation from the exhale of the astronauts. Since SpaceX blew up, and then the Russian thing blew up before that, they're kind of running out of water. They're kind of running out of filtration units. So the big issue up at the International Space Station is they can't figure out what to do with the pee.
Yeah, but who is the argument with? This makes it better.
Russia.
Like, if there was any feud that the United States could have with Russia ongoing, aside from the unspoken or even spoken Putin and Obama tension of, like, Putin's like, we don't have time for Obama. He's child. Okay, so aside from that whole situation, at the International Space Station, they're arguing over how to dispose of pee between the American astronauts and the Russian cosmonauts.
We don't do 100% of the Russian urine. It depends on our time availability. That is the final quote. It tastes like bottled water, apparently. So, you know, if anyone's going to have the good filtration systems, I think it's going to be NASA.
Agreed.
All right, is everyone gone? Is it my turn? So you can now buy a fully operational battle tank with 120 millimeter live cannon on no other place other than Arms List.
I thought you were going to say Amazon, and we could use the call code.
But is that? I mean, you gotta create an introduction somehow to find, test the markets, as it were.
So it's only $249,000, which, I mean, there's sports cars that cost that and much more. Depends what you're going for. I like the seller photos here on Arms List. One of them pictures a tank on top of a car crushing a car.
What is that gnarly looking, like, bulldozer claw thing on the front of it? That's terrifying.
That's for clearing parking spots.
Chieftain MK6. That is the tank.
It's for digging up mines.
Say Mark 6.
It's available at Cold Hand Arms in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma. So any listeners interested in a tank, I believe that is socially acceptable in Oklahoma.
So it's actually a United Kingdom tank. It was the main battle tank of the UK during the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
How did it end up here?
Oh man.
But it comes with 10 projectiles.
What? Can any of you guys like feel a desire to recreate some scenes from the interview with this? That's all I can think of right now.
I feel like this. I feel like Jake, if This Week in Guns Patreon can raise $250,000, can we buy this?
Of course.
There we go.
Of course, he said it. Timestamp it.
Yep.
Yeah.
No
Hey,
edit.
and 3 of my closest buddies can ride along. It has a capacity for a crew of 4.
I call the gun. I call using the
Oh,
gun.
you would, Paul. I want the steering thing apparatus.
Well, it's got 2 L7 machine guns as well.
Oh, I want. Okay, I want one of those then.
Yeah, it's got 750 horsepower, 6-cylinder, 19-liter engine. Has 195-gallon fuel capacity. Goes 30 miles an hour on the road, 19 miles an hour off-road. That's pretty fast off-road.
The barrel is in excellent condition. Has never been molested.
Call
what
dibs
it
on
says.
molesting it. Call dibs on molesting it.
Can we SBR that bad boy? I'd like
Can
to
we-
be able to clear a house with
Yes,
it.
be all right.
Let's drive it down to Silencer Co. and have them put a suppressor on it.
Is
That
this
actually would be
considered?
great marketing. That would be great marketing.
It would be. Is this considered? This is considered a Class 3 weapon, right?
Yes.
I think the
So,
rounds probably are.
what is the stamp for this cost compared to like a suppressor and SBR? Because it says it's listed as NFA Firearms. You're talking about $250K. I'll bet if you offer them $150 for it, they take it.
Well, Jake, if you got this, what would be the first thing you'd shoot with this tank?
Don't say your mother-in-law.
I don't need a tank for that.
Oh, that's below the belt.
Oh, boy, the possibilities.
Yeah, that's a hard question, actually.
I would buy a crappy car on Craigslist. Just if I can afford the tank, I'm buying a car and then dousing it in gasoline, filling the tank full, and starting a forest fire. This whole because that's what this is good for.
How did we get all the way there?
Well, this is. I mean, we're doing this in Oklahoma. We're not driving this to Illinois to do.
Okay.
I mean, I know Jake would love to make another masterful Illinois concealed carry story out of this. Man thwarts robbery with a tank.
Yeah, that's what he would shoot. Like somebody robbing you at a gas station. You're filling it up.
All right, so any other full auto stories you guys want to cover before we close it out?
Lion kills safari guide at park where Cecil lived. So,
That can't be. I don't. I didn't even. I thought that was an Onion article. I didn't even. Click on it.
right. Because people need convincing that Cecil was not like a house cat type lion.
so, for the record, it's not like it's like you walk into the Bronx Zoo and it's like, oh my God, they got another one kind of thing. It's 14,651 square mile national park. This happens every day over in Africa, so they could care less about Cecil, but Cecil still takes up half of the article. That's the reason why I want to bring this up. It's all about Cecil. 14,500. How many lions are in this park? Crickets. All right,
Not enough.
I'm done.
Well, Josh, do you like? Is that how many? What park was it?
The Hamongkongchong Park in Zimbabwe.
Oh my God! You're going to hell.
It's Hwang, which sounds Asian. I'm sure it's pronounced different than Hwang. Like Vanjay, and there's clicks and I don't know.
It's Hwange.
Hwange.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do.
Zimbabwe.
How many lions?
Listen. Never mind.
Forget
How
the
is
line.
Google gonna know
I was
that?
gonna say
Okay,
I heard
no,
the
seriously.
Paul Simon album. Okay, I know it with the Africans.
It actually has it. Like at the top, if you Google how many lions in Huange National Park, population minimum 434.
That's not a whole lot of lions.
Over.
I guess it depends. If you're in a pool with them, it's a lot. But
but if you. So
swimming.
And it even has different sections of the park. How many are in different sections?
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Ghost in the Darkness because that just hit Netflix, and we could.
Did it
Did
really?
it?
Yes,
that's
it is.
so well timed.
Oh, I'm gonna stay up for that.
I'm just gonna skip
Oh, Michael.
part.
Anything to see Michael Douglas get eaten by a lion.
I never saw it. You ruined it.
Oh no, it's still
Trust me,
totally worth it.
I still didn't ruin it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did
Iceman's
want
in
to
it.
cover this one. Formula One champion ordered to remove Instagram post with AR-15. So Lewis Hamilton was ordered to remove photos of him shooting an AR after his race boss, Nikki Landra, ordered him to take it down.
First, is that a guy Nikki or a girl Nikki? It matters.
I don't know.
It's probably a dude. It's
So-
Europe.
It's a dude, a
Do you know
very
how
old
much
dude.
F1 drivers make? Take that picture down, said your boss. Okay. For one race. We're talking like
It was
$1 million.
because it was so close to the shooting too. Like I'm sure if
Right.
it was on any other day, it may not have been an issue.
And dude, it's like, it could be you, it could be me, this could be anyone. It's a standard issue. It's got the little, curved T, like little sit-down bench rest, and he's standing up with, your flip-to-side magnifier on the EOTech with the bipod because I need a rifle that is, for DM, but also home defense, but also sharpshooting, and also bench resting. Dude, this is every person ever in the United States that owns an AR-15.
All the tactics.
All
Yeah,
of them.
but they told him to take it down because they thought it was distasteful because of the France train attack shooting. I'm like,
Well, remember, as far as the media is concerned, all
Yeah, it's the same gun.
salty-looking guns are AK-47s, right?
Yep,
Like the AK-47 shotguns. Or the AR-15 shotguns.
they have those too though.
hmm
Now.
Well, in case anybody needed another reason to not go into Chuck E. Cheese, they refused to serve a police officer with a firearm. I mean, if the 8 million kids running around screaming with their parents hate their own kids to take them there, it wasn't enough reason not to go there.
They were afraid he was gonna shoot one of them.
Maybe they knew that he was a law enforcement officer that was not well trained on Glock pistols, and
oh, it was
Jesus.
no,
Stop.
it's a she, it's a female. So
This is a,
well,
this is a
Sexy
Glock
versus
40.
Stop it. Do not give that story any more airplay.
What story? They got
Oh.
we blame the guns.
If only it had a longer action and a heavier trigger.
all right, if you'd like to support Pro Gun Radio like this, you can check out patreon.com/week. That's an easy way for you to crowdfund this episode of This Week in Guns. You can pledge $1 to $5 per episode. You can also support Firearms Radio Network as a whole at patreon.com/FRN. And don't forget, Patriot Patch Company makes this episode possible. You can pre-order the I'm Your Huckleberry patch now at patriotpatch.co, and we've added some newer pre-orders as well. There's a Bullet Bill patch, and there's might even be a Come and Take It patch. I'm not positive on that, but there's
Gator
some
needs walking around money.
patriotic patch.co.
Oh, he needs his cat. Gator needs his cat.
Josh, Four Guys Guns. So glad you came. What's up? What's going on at Four Guys Guns?
Nothing. We're doing a lot more stuff with video and photography. We're getting back on track with the reviews, so you'll start seeing 2 to 3 per month lately. I got another one going up tomorrow, which is going to be awesome. It's how do I explain this? So it's a review on the Surefire Rider 2S, which is the one that handles 22 mag. I did not do 22 mag in this review, but I did something a little bit differently that I haven't done before or seen before with suppressors, and I put a microphone downrange, I put a microphone behind me, and I put a microphone next to me. I did 0 decibel ratings because, to be perfectly honest, if something is 76 decibels and something is 78 decibels, that's not affecting my buying decision. What's affecting my buying decision with suppressor is how it sounds. And I did as best I could with the equipment that I have, because at the end of the day, it's still digital, and there's still compression, but we really showcased what these suppressors sound like. And everyone says, Surefire is overpriced, garbage, doesn't actually do anything. CCI, standard velocity, all you heard was steel ringing, especially downrange. So I thought that was really cool. It's actually a pretty long video. We're going to be doing a lot more suppressor videos over the next 6 to 12 months. And I kind of wanted to set a platform, kind of a methodology, I guess, on how I do this. So maybe the videos will be shorter in the future. So be sure to check it out. You can find us on YouTube at 4guysguns.com, as well as Facebook, 4guysguns. It's just 4guysguns everywhere. Tumblr, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, all that fun stuff. So reviews are back up. Writing is back up. Writers out there. We have this guy Barry who's doing really good. A couple trainers that are writing for us. If you want to get posted and get paid, submit to Whitey at 4guysguns.com. And yeah, we got a bunch of stuff rolling through.
Awesome. Good to hear. Nick, Practically Tactical. What's the news?
Actually doing a big YouTube push right now. For 1 month straight so far, I put up a video every single day. And, of course, recording the show, doing a lot of training. And then proud to say that the past 2 weeks we did a big fundraiser for the Brian Terry Foundation. For those aren't familiar, go to honorbrianterry.com and you can learn about that. We hit our goal, $1,000, so myself and Jesse from 4C Tactical got hit by a JPX in the face. And for those that are ever curious of what pepper spray is like, it's the worst thing ever at that point in time. I won't use the quote that I did get a pre-approved through Jake with. That was in the video.
Eyeballs.
But no, it was something way funnier. Did that. Proud to do it. The hour worth of pain I went through was nothing compared to what the family of Brian Terry has went through. So, but otherwise, yeah, just plugging along, doing a lot of classes, doing a lot of training, and just trying to put out good content.
Very cool. Peter, what's up? MS Clean Kits?
Yeah, we are. It's almost August is almost over. Early in September, our dye should be totally complete. We had to, for anybody listening who ordered, we had to adjust them so they were proper. They fit properly because they were the lid was really loose, and we had to make some somewhat complicated adjustments to the dyes that were not anticipated. And we got some SKUs messed up on some pouches, and that took forever for us to sort out. But anyway, so it should be in September we're releasing the doubles, and we got stickers. We were like a real company. We have stickers and patches like people do, like in the gun things. I see all these other people having stickers. I guess we should buy them. And so now we have those. And so I guess I'll be selling them or whatever you do with them, giving them away. What do you even do with them? I don't know. You give them to people on Instagram, so give us pictures. I don't know, put them on cop cars, whatever.
Yeah, cop cars, toilet seats.
Yeah.
Your choice. Very cool. And let's see here. Ebs, what's up? House of Guns, House of Arms.
Oh, wait, and Recoil article. I have an article on Recoil right now. I know you guys don't read magazines because you're hip and cool and you're on YouTube. But in case you're, like to have your fingers irritated by rough pages, you can pick up Recoil. And, it's about the Adcore rifle. And I look super awesome in it. I'm coming out of the swamp like a Navy SEAL.
I'll have to pick it up. Awesome. Abs, House of Guns, House of Arms.
I have a hard time following an introduction outro like that, but got my first couple videos up in a long time, just these past couple weeks. One of them is a suppressed AK, a Rifle Dynamics SBR, suppressed with the Liberty Mystic X. You should check that out if you like things like AKs and suppressors on AKs. And working out a hacker situation with the site. Thought I had it cleared up, but it's back with a vengeance, so I'm still dealing with that. So go to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All of it's House of Guns, HAUSofguns.com. That's the blog site, houseofarms.com. We sell single-shot old man guns that are periodically extremely cool with large-bore pistol calibers and easily suppressible 300 blackout barrels and such. That's HAUSOFARMS.com. And appreciate you guys' support.
Very cool. That about wraps us up. You can leave your feedback by commenting on the bottom of this YouTube video or at thespeakingguns.com/131. Don't forget to leave that iTunes review, subscribe there, and contribute to the show by using our Amazon affiliate link and listen to all the other awesome shows on the Firearms Radio Network. Thank you, Nick.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Jake. It's been a long time. Good to see everybody again.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
Pleasure to be here, Jake. Thanks for having me.
And thank you, Ebbs.
Man, it's good to be back on, and thanks for having Palma on too. Whole situation.
Yes. That's a wrap. We'll see you next week.